Political Parties Leadership and Policy Development Center, Pplpdc, known as the Center of Excellence, took off at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Kuru, in 2013 as the first and still the only specialized center for the training of political parties in the whole of the West African sub-region. Today, the center has become a reference point in the training and capacity building of political parties in Nigeria and beyond. The National Institute established this important center in accordance with its mandate of serving as the apex institute where reflection, research and training at the highest level of national life in Nigeria can be undertaken. The Institute's area of coverage include all policy-related issues on political, economic and socio-cultural sectors of the country. The Institute, in its almost 4 decades of existence, is reputed as an indispensable foremost institution where a potpourri of leading intellectuals, top public servants, military brass and other strategic members of the ruling elite come for reflection, training and research in all aspects of life. It is also topmost institution feeding the federal government with policy research reports, policy briefs and policy options through extensive in-depth research and training of senior executives. In pursuance of its mandate, the Institute also have centers where specialized issues are treated. One of such is the Political Parties Leadership and Policy Development Center, Pplpdc. The Pplpdc was a product of reflection on the need to fill in the gaps noted in the development of party democracy in Nigeria, coinciding with the report of the needs assessment of political parties carried out by the United Nations Development Programme under the Democratic Governance for Development 2 program. Professor Jibril Ibrahim, a renowned public analyst and activist who has worked extensively in the area of democracy, was one of the consultants that produced the assessment. The takeoff of the center was witnessed by dignitaries from all stakeholders, many of whom extol the vision of NIPS and UNDP DGD2 as partners in the establishment of the center. The Director General of the National Institute, under whom the center was established, Professor Tijani Muhammad Bande, OFR, who is now the Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York, was elated while welcoming dignitaries to the establishment of the center. This laid the foundation for stakeholders' buy-in into the activities of the center, a feature that has distinguished it both in forms of operation and impact. Between the years of 2013 and 2015, when the general elections took place, the center trained a total of 430 party officials drawn from all the political parties operating in the country, as at that time at both national and state levels. This includes chairmen, secretaries, treasurers, publicity secretaries, youth, women, and legal officials. The training was done in close collaboration and cooperation with the development partners. The capacity building training program has been acknowledged by many stakeholders, particularly the political parties and their umbrella coordinating organization, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. The center also has a pool of rich and competent resource persons as trainers, and this has boosted the standard of delivery and participation. It boasts of an array of professionals that can hardly be put together by any like center in the country. To guarantee effective delivery of its mandate, the center took the capacity empowerment of its managerial staff into cognizance. As such, it organized several trainings for them both within and outside the country. One of such training was the program packaged for the staff in the United States by Partners for Democratic Change, an intensive program which exposed them to many political party structures and functions. In addition, partners also sent some experts to further continue the training at the National Institute. In its short years of existence, the Center had embarked on many programs and activities to impact positively on the political parties and their operations in Nigeria. The target audience and attendance frequency is as follows: Chairman 76.9%, Secretaries 80.8%, Treasurers 88.5%, and Publicity Secretaries 96.2%. Others are youth leaders with 92.2%, women leaders with 96.2%, and legal officials at 96%. The pleasant weather in Jos, the serene environment of the National Institute in Kuru, where the center is based, the warm and courteous staff in the institute, coupled with adequate security, are part of the attractions to the center. All these combine to give a conducive environment for training and concentration by participants in our programs. In reality, many fall in love with the environment whenever they come around for training, that they always look forward to more programs in Kuru. The center has a conference hall that is equipped with public address system and other equipment like projectors. The hall in the center can comfortably sit up to 100 people at a time. This is in addition to other hall facilities like the main auditorium with capacity for about 600 people at a time. There's also the Unity Hall that is multipurpose in nature with capacity to seat about 300 people at a time. The center also boasts of a modest specialized reference library with current materials on political party studies and practice, democracy, political science, governance, public administration, communication, and many other areas. The first of its kind in Nigeria. The books have been acquired around the world, and the library is open to all participants in our training programs. There is also a more general library that serves the whole institute. Further, there is a computer laboratory with a pool of networked computer where participants can carry out further studies and research in their areas of interest. The center is operated by staff who have requisite knowledge in the areas of coverage of the activities of the center. This include the Director General of the Institute, who heads the management and policy formulation organ of the center. The Chief Operating Officer, who doubles as the Director of Research in the Institute and a professional, oversees the day-to-day operations of the center. He is assisted by 3 Deputy Chief Operating Officers in charge of programs, communication, and administration. They all report to the Chief Operating Officer. In addition, there are program officers who handle different programs being mounted by the center and sees to the effective implementation of the activities. They work with the Deputies Chief Operating Officers. The activities of the center demands collaboration and teamwork. As such, others are co-opted into the activities of the center, particularly from the Directorate of Research, as and when needed. The center took off with the signing of an LOA with the UNDP DGD2, and the agreement lasted for 2 years. The UNDP DGD2, a basket of funds by the UNDP, EU, DFID, Korea, and managed by UNDP, funded the center to the tune of $2.4 million for the period. When this funding lapsed, the federal government, having realized the strategic need for the center, decided to take up the funding. Expectedly, the funding is obviously not enough, which explains why the center, whose staff capacity has been developed on proposal writing and fundraising under the directive of the ever forward-looking Chief Operating Officer, put in place a sustainability plan which includes sourcing for funds from partners and collaborating with others. The success stories of the center within its few years of existence has started yielding positively. Currently, the European Union, under its program on EU support for democratic governance in Nigeria, has awarded a direct grant to the tune of 2.7 million euros to the center. Also, there have been other bodies seeking collaboration with the center, like the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The center is looking forward to a more robust years of existence where it will contribute to the overall political party and democratic development in the country. This much was noted by stakeholders. The center has taken some brilliant steps in disseminating its activities through different means. It has a communication strategy in place. The approach include book publication, information materials like newsletter, flyers, brochures, and mementos. It has also maintained a clear visibility in the national media over the years. The Political Parties Leadership and Policy Development Center, Pplpdc, has set for itself the task of becoming African Center of Excellence in the promotion of democracy by ensuring the standardization and efficient running of the political party system in Nigeria. It is an established fact that the political parties are the platform through which leaders are recruited for election and voting. Thus, any effort towards ensuring the consistency, efficiency, and effectiveness of the political parties in performing this role should be embraced by all well-meaning Democrats around the world. As a result of this, the Pplpdc is ready to cooperate and collaborate with people and organizations of like minds to achieve this noble objective.